Good afternoon, Mick.
Afternoon, Mike. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. A pleasure to have you back
No, it's good to
for
be
the
back.
second
Thank you.
time.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you for inviting me back.
I think it's the first time I've actually invited someone back, so take it as a compliment.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Well, things have moved on quite a lot since we last spoke, to be fair.
But yeah, yeah, it's a long time in marketing, a couple of years.
Oh, for sure.
So I've got so I mean recently you've won an award, haven't you? The
Yeah.
Business Enabler of the Year award.
Yeah. So the National Entrepreneurs Convention, which was a couple of weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to be awarded the Business Enabler of the Year for the work that I'm doing with veterans and veteran businesses and employment opportunities on leave and service. So
That's
it's
fantastic.
it's hugely humbling, but also hugely embarrassing to go up on a stage in front of 1,500 people and was the winner. It's not something I revel in. Um, but
Can I
it,
can I um can I help you relive that moment?
yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Do whether you can hear that.
No.
It was a drum roll.
Oh, right. No, I heard that. I heard
Oh,
that.
right, that's all right then.
Thought you
Yeah, I
could
thought,
play a video or something. I was like, okay.
oh yeah, I could do. I'm not quite
No,
that au fait with the technology yet on Riverside.
no, cool. No,
Although
it
saying
was,
that, that would probably remind you of obviously your military history as well. Those drums.
yeah,
I
no,
was thinking
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
because like I say, you spent 24 years in the
So
Royal
24
Marines.
years in the military in the Royal Marines. Left what seems like a lifetime ago now, nearly as long outside as inside. So I left in 2008. Um, Wanted to do something for myself, didn't really know what. So I
Mm.
took on a franchise because I thought that would help me run a business with the support and background that it gives. So I took on a property rental business in Westbourne, in near Bournemouth and Poole, and did that for a couple of years. My wife was still serving, so she then got posted to Birmingham. So I then had to sell the franchise on and move up, and then I became sort of a military spouse. Although I was always a military spouse, but a non-serving military spouse. So I had to follow my wife's career around. So every couple of years that we would move around, change location. So up to Birmingham and Gloucestershire and London, and then eventually when my wife left, I came back to Poole. Um, and then from there, I ran a military charity for a couple of years. And then went back into the property sector, working in London for a big property developer, where we brought in an American company sort of partnership to integrate them into the UK property building sector for institutional landlords. So large scale properties, sort of 250 apartments up. Um, and it was a great project integration.
Mm.
And everyone says it's an old adage, but we speak the same language just in a different way. So every Friday I used to do, right, what's the word of the week? So you tell us an American word of what it means, and we'll tell you an English word of what it means. And that was a bit of fun on a Friday to finish the week with. And then sort of during COVID and lockdown, I was having a lot of friends and friends and colleagues that were in their own business struggling, as we all were. To be fair, it was a strange time. And wives being what wives are, sort of said to me, "You're doing a lot of this coaching for free, giving away lots of your intellectual knowledge and rights and stuff. Why don't you do that, professionally and coach businesses? Because I really enjoyed it. I like seeing people succeed. I like seeing people grow. And I'd rather work with small businesses than I would large corporations and large businesses, which is what I was doing in London. It was a large business. It was very much a corporate lifestyle. And so yeah, I went away, did some coaching courses, and became a coach for the Entrepreneurs Circle, and still am. Became a local ambassador for the Entrepreneurs Circle, and still am. And work with small to medium-sized businesses, mainly for a situation where the business is really going flat out. The business owner is going flat out and doesn't know what he needs to do or she needs to do to get to the next stage. So I work with them. There's a lot of marketing in that, which obviously you help me with. But marketing support, understanding staff, recruiting the right sort of staff, knowing your numbers, most important thing in the world. Amount of business people that don't know what their break-even point is, don't understand the numbers in the business, don't know how much money's coming in, how much money's going out. They live week by week, month by month. So they can't really forecast, can't really grow. So we do a lot of work on understanding the financials that makes a business tick, and help them get to the stage where ultimately they can either step away and let the business run itself. But not everyone wants to do that. You think everyone wants to get the business and then take up golf or whatever, but they don't. Some people are like, I love my business. I want to go back around the circle again. So we go back around the loop again, go back to stage one. And why are you doing this? Why are you in business? What's your aim? What's your exit plan? And then build it again. Well, what's your staffing look like now? Well, let's look at growing your staff. So it's a cyclical process, but it's a system. And I think businesses need to have systems and processes in place, because otherwise they're winging it, and lots of businesses are winging it. I see it every day. But what I see is that lots of business owners have a job. They don't have a business. And lots of people think they've been in business 10 years, have been in business 1 year, but they've done it 10 times. And they never really get past that year one. And so I try and help them break down some of the myths and mysteries behind growing a business and the ways to do it, really. And this is very structured. Accountability comes into it. And lots of people don't like to be accountable. They like to think you can't tell them how to run business. And I absolutely don't tell them how to run their business. But, we look at something that's not working or could be done more efficiently, get them to do it. It's their business. I'm not coming in to do a done for you service. And put things in place, help them grow that, and then I hold them to account. As I do on our local meetings, Mike, and that we have our accountability.
You do a great job.
What have you done last month? What are you going to do next month? So when we come back round, did you do that? Yeah. And sometimes you need that. It
strikes me. I've just thought it must be. I mean, being in the Marines, being organised, having a focus, having a strategy, is a matter of life and death. For a business, I suppose the worst that can happen is you can go bankrupt. But
but the business owner, that is life and death, isn't it? In many ways.
Yeah. But,
that exists in a business.
In the military, if you don't plan, then you pay the ultimate price. So it's. But I think we should have the same. Do you think we should have the same kind of focus and emphasis?
I think if you want to be successful at anything, if you wanted to be successful in sport, you've got to work at it. It doesn't just come naturally. To get to the top level, to be really successful, you have to put processes and things in place. If you look at professional sports players, they've all got a nutritionist. They've got people that help them sleep better. Yeah. They've got I did some work with England rugby a few years ago, and they get like a special bed sent to them when they get the England squad. They get all their clothes, they get a full nutrition plan, and when they turn up for day one of their boot camp before the international season, they get put to the test and they're held accountable. Have you been following your plan? Obviously not, because you may be a prop, but you look like a prop, or you're a winger and you look like a prop. So we all need that accountability. No, I'd say 90%, 95% of people need accountability to grow and to be successful in life, and business owners are no different, really.
What made you? What was impetus for getting into founding? Well, you were the co-founder of Vetrepreneurs Circle.
Yes, yeah. So my business is Veteran Entrepreneurs, and that was supposed to be a spin on working with people that have been in business a long time. So they were veteran business owners, and obviously the military angle as well. If you are a military veteran and you want to get into business, and I teamed up with of all people, a paratrooper, Sean West, which is quite comical for anyone that understands the rivalry between the Marines and the paras. We've teamed up, and there's some interesting humour that goes on between us, which is good fun, makes it enjoyable. And what we wanted to do was set up a business growth plan for military-minded people from the military family, and put business speak into military speak. Instead of a business plan, it's an operational plan. It's understanding the strategic intelligence gathering bit and data analytics, and just everything in business is, as long as it makes sense to you, you can grow with it. But a lot of business owners sort of wing it and cuff it and think they know what they're on about and don't really understand, but don't want to ask. because it's lonely being a business owner, right? Who do you speak to? Do you go home and complain about your business and your clients and your staff to your wife? Does she want to hear it, or your husband? Do they want to hear it? You don't want to speak
Mm.
to anyone in the business, because the business is your thing, and you don't want to tell the business that you're having a bad day. And a business coach as often is that person that people vent to. So, some of my coaching calls are, it's like, almost like a counselling. I mean, I'm not a counsellor, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I sit there and, it's, oh, the wife's done this or the staff have done that. Nothing about growing their business, but they've no one to discuss their business with.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and being a business coach, sometimes you have to do that, like life counselling to people, and then try and let them vent on you. It's about listening,
yeah.
really, and trying to help them grow. Like I say, it's lonely being in business.
What made you partner with Entrepreneur Circle? What was?
Um, so I joined Entrepreneur Circle many moons ago when I first got into business doing the property rental stuff, and that's when it was just starting. And I was looking for anything, I was hungry to learn about being a business owner, growing a business. The franchise was good, but I wanted more. And Entrepreneur Circle was relatively new then. This is back in 2008. Um, and I loved what I heard. It was plain speaking. I mean, Nigel Botterill from Entrepreneur Circle is plain speaking Yorkshireman. Some people like him, some people don't. But some people like me and some people don't like me. So that's it. But I kind of liked what he was saying. He was straight talking. Being a military man, I'd rather people told me how it is rather than waffled to me and a lot of bluff and blunder and bluster. So I started with Entrepreneur Circle, then went back there and stayed engaged with it. And then sort of the coaching thing came up. It's just what comes with the package. Entrepreneur Circle offers so much to a business. There's so much for a business owner. You can literally get lost in that digital vault of resources and back conferences and 1 day workshops that they run. You can go and play back all those videos, and you can be there for 2 months, but not do a day's work. Sit in front of your screen and download all that information and suck it up. So it's a great resource to have. And I did a couple of other coaching courses as well, which were great and very very methodical, um, perhaps heavy data driven. Perhaps doing too much for me, and they all work. Don't get me wrong; that there's not a better one. There's not. You've got to go what suits you and your style. And I kept going back to Entrepreneur Circle. I can still use other techniques and other processes from other organizations now, because I kind of understand business and um, problems that business owners have. Um, and I can always find something in the Entrepreneur Circle vault that will help the problem that anyone has.
Yeah, yeah. Since we last talked, there's been a lot of developments with AI
Yeah.
and using AI apps, etc. And being someone who helps businesses streamline their processes and become more efficient.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think it's really important from my perspective that I say that to try and dispel the myth of AI. AI, if you use it correctly, it is a tool for you to run your business better. It's not going to take over the world. It's not going to make all your staff redundant. It's not going to make your business redundant. But you need to know how to use AI and do that. Um, and I've been involved with it, probably getting on for 18 months now, not long after ChatGPT. I had no idea what it was, but I went to an EC, Entrepreneurs Circle day of Discover AI, and it was cutting edge stuff at the time.
mm.
Um, and sort of picked that up and started running with what's going on now. And I just love what you can do with it. You can really scale up, be efficient, and do more, which is what do you want to try and do. Um,
What do you think for a business, where would it help most?
the way I look at AI is, what problem do I have in my business? Because there's an AI solution. If your problem is content for your marketing, AI can help you. If it's creating a website or a landing page, AI can help you. If it's a problem with your staffing, the way that the staff work, there's no processes there. AI can help. So That's one of the things I do when I'm coaching people. We get to the AI stage of it. It's, well, what's the biggest problem? What do you hate doing most in your business? What do you dislike most? Some people it's numbers, some people it's marketing, some people it's creating content, some people it's getting in front of a camera. The amount of people that do not want to do this, get in front of a camera and
Mm.
talk and videoed, um, AI can do it for you. You don't need to get in front of a camera. AI can do it. It can be pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I speak to you and I know quite a few web developers, and I was using a tool the other day. It created a website, a pretty good website, in about 5 or 6 minutes, using a tool called Replit. Um, and I showed the web developer, and I said, "You see what I can do in 5 or 6 minutes? I can create a website. It's not brilliant. It's not as good as your coded website and the rest of it. If I'm a business startup, that's got to be a quick win." And I said, "That's not to put you out of business. What you should be doing as a web developer is turn around and going, right, I've got a basic entry level web solution for a small startup business, which is low barrier to entry, low cost. You've then got them as a client because you've created it in 5 minutes. Then how many starter websites could you create in a day? It can
Mm.
take 10 or 15 minutes to create one, and use that as a tool. And then you upsell them the other options of what you do, the SEO and all the stuff that you do, Mike, which is fantastic to grow the business. Um, that's what a web developer really adds value. And again, it's using the AI as that tool to grow your business.
Yeah,
People miss that. People miss that. It's
yeah,
a cultural mindset change we've got to get through as a business owner.
yeah. That's right. And a slight, more, a more of an emphasis on maybe presentation, and some things can't be done as well by AI as other things.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
know where the strengths are with AI or what it can do.
yeah. And it's never going to get worse, is it? AIs are
Mm.
only going to get better.
It's going to on
Video
upward.
creation is only going to get better. You know, I've done it where I've cloned my voice, cloned images of me to make videos. All I do now is I can get AI to create me some content about a particular subject. It then drops it in to the video creation tool, adds my voice to it, and all of a sudden I'm giving this presentation on something that the AI has written. Like, I don't copy and paste. I use the AI to, when I'm creating content, to give me a baseline, something to work with.
Yeah,
Uh, and then I tweak it. It is my words, but I've just had someone help me. It's like having another member of staff, isn't it? Can you say to a junior marketing assistant in the office, can you go and create me some content, a blog, an article, an email campaign? And you look at it and go, oh, okay, well, that doesn't sound like me. I'm going to tweak that and change that. But you've got the basis to work from. It saves you time, and it can be really efficient for you.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. What um, what do you think would happen? I mean, some people think that the way things are going, people or businesses who don't use AI will kind of fade out,
I
and
think it'll
businesses
be
who use
hard.
AI will prosper.
Well, I think it'd be harder if you don't embrace the way that the world moves and technology, because everything moves on. We go back a few years, what was it, 30 years since the mobile phone came in? People are, oh, I'm never going to carry one of those bricks. No, you never can get me away from that. And I've got a fax and I've got a phone line and that's all I need.
Mm,
The internet will never catch on. I'm never going to have one of those big desktop computers because I've got a typist to type it all out for me. And here we are, on phones and tablets that are 10 times more powerful than they were when they first come out.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
the power of your mobile phone is way outstrips the basic PCs that came out. But everyone's got one. There's no business, right, that doesn't have, or doesn't have a PC, doesn't have a website generally. Have I ever met a business without a website?
very rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you would be
Most people,
suspicious.
they think I've got to have a website, which is not strictly true, but they think I've got to have a website. Um, and they've, they've got to get in front of a computer. They've got to be able to answer emails. They've got to be able to communicate. So you've got to move on. And AI is just another tool that will help you grow your business, be more efficient. If you're not embracing it, you will slip behind others. It makes your life harder against your competitors that are using it. And ultimately, some people's businesses will fail because they'll be behind the power curve.
Yeah, yeah. And because you deal with veterans, either business owners who've been around for a while, and
Yeah.
also veterans from the forces. Do you find this is a whole new world for them when you're talking to them? Are they aware of stuff or?
I find that a lot of the military people I'm dealing with are a lot more squared away with technology than the rest of us, because military's going that way. They're using it and everyday part of their military life. They come out of the military a lot more clued up. They don't necessarily know what to do with it in Civil Street, but they're not technophobes for sure. You know, they're very tech savvy these days. They use a lot of technology in the military, and they're in some ways an advantage to a business owner that's never wants to touch it, never going to embrace it. So that gives them a stepping stone into it. What they lack is understanding business. Um, you know, we're very trusting as military people because we work together as teams and we all work together. It's not always the same in Civvy Street, and businesses are not always want to be as collaborative as you are in the military. And
Mm.
that's a a cultural shock for them to try and get that headset their mindset correct on that.
What would you say was the biggest hurdle when you transition from military to Civvy Street? What was the most
So
difficult?
I think it's a really interesting question, Mike. I think everyone's journey is different, and there is a package that military service leaver get, and it's one bag fits all. Really, it's you get a couple of days here and there to do it, and there are courses you can go on, but it's one stop shop to try and fix everything. Whereas what I try and do with military service leavers, I try and get them to their last year of service, and they're leaving for a different reason. The next person's leaving, and they've got different pushes and pulls on them. It could be financial, it could be family, it could be none of that. They've just been kicked out because they're too old, and the military said, "Thanks very much, but you are retiring," and they don't want to leave. So there's a resistance to leaving. What's the biggest one that I find? Um, I gotta say it's a trust thing because they're very trusting, and that makes them a bit more vulnerable, a bit more naive. You can put some of these military guys anywhere in the world and say get on with it, and they will. But you put them in a boardroom in a jacket and a tie and with a load of C-suite execs, and they don't know what to say, don't know what to do, don't know where to put themselves. And so it's that cultural mindset of acting slightly differently, understanding the landscape, and they're dynamic. They adapt quite rapidly because that's what they do in the military. You know, you put them in a situation somewhere, and they'll look at the situation, they figure it out, and the best way to work and operate. Um, and they do tend to progress pretty quickly into the careers that we put them into. And so I try and make sure they don't sell themselves short because I'll take the first job that's offered to me because who's going to employ me? I'm a veteran. But actually, if they go for a bit higher level and stretch themselves a bit, then it's easier for them to progress through a business. If you come into the business at the base level and then you're trying to work your way up, it's a long, hard slog for people to do that. So it's understanding where you fit into the commercial world, what you want to do, more importantly, what don't you want to do? Because lots of industry people have no idea what they can do when they leave, which I often say to them, why on earth are you leaving if you have no idea what you're going to do? So we try and discount as many different avenues. Do you want to do project management? Do you want to go into finance? Do you want to go into the construction sector? Do you want to go into IT and cyber and technology? Yeah. Or does that all scare you or bore you senseless? And if so, right, let's cross that off the list. And over that period of the year, we understand things that they want to do, that they enjoy doing, because you've got to enjoy your job, right? You've got to wake up in the morning going, I'm looking forward to going to work. If you're not, then what are you in that job for? People take it because it's the only job they can get. But actually, if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to be productive. You're not going to be good at it. You're not going to get promoted. You're not going to win a bonus. You're just going to go in and go out, and that's your lot. So it's if you can find someone a job that they really enjoy doing, that they jump out of bed for one in the morning because it excites them, then let's push them down that avenue because it could be they love doing something in resource management or facilities management. It could be they love the tech stuff. It could be they love communications and IT. Let's get them doing that because they'll be successful at that.
Yeah, yeah. if you it's probably a hard question to answer, but what is the number one challenge that businesses face, uh, or or when they come to you, what is the most common challenge that they run in that you need to solve for them or need to guide them on, give
There's
advice?
there's always quick wins. You look at every business and you go, right, okay, here's some quick wins just to make a difference. I would say most business owners come to a business coach when it's a bit too late. When the business is struggling, they can't really afford to do the investment to grow the business, and it's a last-ditched effort. I'm going to go and get a business coach, and he's going to save the business. So all the pressure falls on the business coach. If you ever got the money or the resources to invest in that business, to develop the business, the most successful people you take on a business coach are those with a successful business. They are successful. They can afford to spend a bit of money on developing, bringing in new technology, spending some money on some marketing and some advertising, and going and meeting the right people in the right places, and networking with the right level people. If you can afford to do that, then business coach is invaluable because it will help you open those doors and really accelerate your business. But the biggest thing is the numbers. People just do not know the numbers in their business. They don't know how much it costs to acquire a customer. They don't know how much a customer is worth to them. The lifetime of the customer, they don't understand.
Mm,
And therefore, when you say, and you must see it when you're doing some marketing for them, Mike, is how much is a customer worth? How much are you prepared to pay to the customer? If you give me £1 and I give you £2 back, when are you going to stop giving me a £1 coin?
mm,
It's mental. And if you can demonstrate that to people, and they get that, those that get it, get it. I've got a friend of mine, I think you know him as well, who started off quite small, and his business is really successful now. But he spends 30 grand a month on leaflet drops, which is, to me, is mental. But he knows that 300 grand a year, he's got a 30 million pound business, turnover
yeah,
business. He knows that 30 grand will turn into £1 million of business.
yeah,
Dropping 30 grand on leaflets is a drop in the ocean to him because he knows it's going to generate a lot of business for him. He didn't start dropping 30 grand straight away, build it up over a period of time, understood what worked and knew where to drop the leaflets. And, that's his main lead generator, if you like. And he does all sorts of other marketing with it as well, because he understands that one client is worth X amount to him. Therefore, why don't I spend a few £100 to get that one client? Because it's worth it.
yeah, yeah. Do you have any advice on like CRMs and email marketing?
Yeah. You've obviously done this before, because it's another great question, Mike. A man of people that don't know what a CRM system is, client relationship management system, customer relationship management system. I think it's invaluable tool. And I learned that early on in my business life, that you've got to have an understanding of who your clients are. You've got to be able to know information about them. Maybe it's a military thing of getting the intelligence, the due diligence on who it is you're working with or against. But if you know a client so well, their partner's name, they know they've got kids and a dog, and you know their birthday. That's really powerful. When you send them a
Mm.
birthday card, they're like, oh my God, Mick sent me a birthday card. That's amazing. What does that cost you? A couple of quid. A couple of quid now, because stamps are so expensive. I didn't realize how much stamps are these days. But if you get that handwritten card from your supplier, you think, oh, that's really special. And it's simple things like that. But a CRM system is essential for a modern business, to create marketing campaigns, to generate a series of emails to go out, not to spam people, but to inform people. And I tried to say, for every 5 emails you send, they're all the first 5 emails are always just about informing people, giving them something free, so helping them, before you even talk about what it is that you do or what it is you offer. So you've got to have a campaign, a series of emails to drop them. And it doesn't need to be just emails. A CRM will do an SMS message, or a WhatsApp message, because if that phone goes off with an SMS or a WhatsApp, you'll read it. If it pings with an email, you go, I'll read it later, maybe. And a CRM can manage all those different comms methods as well. And again, we talk about technology, video email. Again, the CRM system will do that because it's just an email. If you get a video email, people will watch a video email. People watch video on social media. And they're scrolling through all of this, but if it's a video that's talking to you, you'll listen to that message for a bit more than you will once you look at a subject line in an email. So it's a really powerful tool, and people really should have a good CRM system. And I've looked at dozens and dozens over the years. All these super duper ones and not so super duper ones, and well-known ones and not so well-known ones. And I've tried many. I've sort of got a system now that I'm really happy with, and I've been able to set it up for my clients when they realize that they want to try a CRM, and it grades up. So what you do, you have to start off on a low level, and it's got a few details, contact details in it, and then you build that up to be a really powerful tool. It's got to be in the brains of your business. It's got to be that data center of your business. It knows all about your products. It knows about you. It knows about your clients. It communicates with them in and out. It is the nerve center of any business.
Another area as well you discuss is pricing. Um, so what's your what do you advise clients who you take on regarding pricing?
I think one of the first, we talk about simple wins, right? So I think a really simple win to increase your income is increase your prices, really, really small level of increase. Because a small increase of, say, 2%, 5% on your prices doesn't really impact on your customers that much. When you look at the hassle of changing your provider for the sake of a 5% increase. But actually, if you've got lots of clients and lots of 5% increases, that makes a huge difference to the end of the month, your bottom line. So that's a really simple, quick win for people, is to look at it. People are scared about hiking prices up. We all want everything for as cheap as we can. And we know you get what you pay for. And if you value your business and your product and your service and what it is that you offer to your clients, then it needs to have a value. And if you're selling yourself short and not making enough money off it, then your business is going, backwards. Business is only going forward or backwards. No business stands still. Every month, your business is either going forward or going backward. And understanding the pricing mechanism of your business and how it works is important. Even down to your time. Yeah. So if you're going to go out and spend some time with a client, that's a cost implication to you. You have an hourly rate to your business. You should consider, what do I charge myself at in the hourly rate? And it gets wrapped up in the whole bundle, but what's my hourly rate and what's my travel time and what's my work time and what's my product price? That comes up into the price. And we're British, we don't like to talk about price. It's a very un-British thing to do.
Yes.
And I've spoken about, some clients as well. They're really price sensitive, and that's because they come too late. They don't invest in their business and look at what they're doing until they're really struggling, and then it's really difficult to release money from their business. And people say, "Well, I'll lose loads of clients." In my experience, you might lose one or two clients, but generally you don't lose all, unless you go stupid with the pricing. But if you did small price hike, everyone's putting up prices, right? All your prices have gone up. Whether it's the internet, the phone, your mobile phone, whether it's cost of pay per click for your advertising, it's all gone up. Bread and butter's gone up, milk's gone up. It's the world we live in. So why shouldn't you put your prices up? It's costing you more to live and more to run your business. Therefore, that needs to get passed on to the client. It really does if you want to be successful. And I'm not going to get political, but that's what the government's doing. They're hitting small business owners, and small business owners have to pass that on to Joe Slow in the street and go, "I'm sorry, my costs have gone up because the government have made my costs more expensive. Therefore, you're going to pay more for it."
Yeah.
So when saying we're not going to hit Mr. and Mrs. on the street, well, you are, because I'm going to charge more for what I sell them.
And also, I guess the value, if you're competing on price, it's a race to the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a race to the bottom. Or I saw it when I was doing the estate agency stuff, the property stuff when I first started, and there are people doing it for 1 or 2% for residential lettings. We're doing it 1 or 2. You can't afford to run your business at that. It needs to be at the time. you couldn't afford to do it less than like a 7%. And our competitors, in the same high street as me in Westbourne, were like, oh, we'll do it for 5% because you're here. I'm like, well, I'm going 12. And like, oh my God, no one's going to go with you. Well, it's about what you offer your client, isn't it?
Mm.
So if I'm getting 12%, it means I can look after the client better. If you're doing the 5%, you're cutting something to make some money on doing that business. So it's understanding the value of what you give. And actually, if you can demonstrate that you have good value, it's worth paying for it. People what will pay more for good service and good value and a good product. And look at the automotive industry. You can buy a really cheap, down and dirty, basic car, but it's not going to last you very long. Or you can go to a high end brand that costs you, a lot of money, and people will pay that. People still
Mm.
buying Aston Martins, they're still buying Range Rovers because there's a value to that, and they know the value of it. The same way, people still buy, bottom end of the market stuff as well. But if you understand what the value is and the longevity of that and the return on that, people are prepared to pay it. People want to look good, don't they? No one ever wants to go out and go, I want to look like a pauper and I want to look like I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I want to look as if we're successful and we're doing well, and we can afford that.
When you go out, out in the town, you want to go in a taxi, not the local bus.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you do. You find your happy medium of what restaurant do you want to go in? Do you want to go into a greasy spoon for your meal, or do you want to go somewhere nice when you take your missus out? You'd rather go somewhere nice, pay a bit more for it because you get a better experience than you want to know. General greasy spoon. There are some good ones, but we won't share
Yeah,
those.
there are some good greasy
There's some
spoons.
really good ones. Yeah, but actually, when you look at greasy spoons and you compare them, some are more expensive than others, and I'd rather pay more in a really good cafe to get a
Yeah,
really good product and service and food and the way that the staff treat you than just because I want the cheapest cup of coffee in town.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so that covers most of the questions we've got. I'm just going to ask you a few quick fire, more
Okay,
informal questions before we end off. So be prepared because I didn't give you any warning. Okay, rugby or football?
rugby.
Why is that?
Um, I like uh, the no holds barred. It's true and gritty and football. I mean, I grew up watching football and playing football. I used to play 3 or 4 clubs a week, and I lived for football. But the way it is now, they're just too soft and airy fairy and fall over thing. And you watch a rugby match, you're thinking, yeah, they're giving it their all, and I enjoy rugby.
Okay. Uh, Army or RAF?
Gosh, well, if I'm traveling somewhere, I want to fly with the RAF. If going into battle, probably with the army. Depending on what you're offering. Uh, yeah, army probably.
Okay. Apple or Windows?
Apple every day.
Yeah. Um, uh, what else have we got? Yeah, music wise, what is your favorite type of music?
I'm not really a big music fan. Um, I don't really have a favorite type of music. If I hear a song and I like it, I like the song. It doesn't matter on the band, the group, the singer, the genre. If I like a song or like a music, it's that particular one at the time.
Okay, we'll pass on that one
Yeah.
then. Favorite food?
Ooh, I like a nice ribeye steak. But at the same time, I like a curry. Not too hot, not too spicy, but I like a curry every now and then. My go-to food would probably be a rib of beef, steak, something like that would be good.
Great. Favorite quote?
Cool. Favorite quote. There's a few that I like, but one of the favorites that I think is if you've always do what you've always done, you'll always have what you've always had.
That's a good one. Very good one. And favorite book?
Favorite books are one is the one I'm always reading at that time. I pick up a book to read. I'm reading Marcus Sheridan's latest book at the moment, Endless Customers. I think he's great what he does and the way that he gets
Mm.
business across. I think that's great. Um, yeah, it's whatever ones, I loved his first one. They ask, you answer. So yeah, but whatever's current.
So that one at the moment, Marcus Sheridan.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Okay. That's a quick. Oh, well, one more question. Favorite color socks?
Favorite color socks. Quite
Favorite
boring.
color of
Yeah, I'm,
socks?
I'm black or navy blue.
Which one?
um, Blue, navy blue.
Blue. Yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. That concludes our interview. Uh, really
Brilliant.
appreciate your time and also giving us some great value in the interview.
Yeah, no, likewise, mate. I really, we talk a lot outside of this, don't we? And I think what you do for businesses is priceless. It helps businesses grow, and I can do some of the stuff I do if I didn't have someone like you to help and refer business to.
Oh, you're welcome. And if someone wants to contact you or they want to find out more about Vetrepreneurs Circle, what's the best way of doing it? What's the
So
best?
either the website, there's two websites, veteranentrepreneurs.org.uk or vetrepreneurscircle.co.uk. The Lifetime Entrepreneurs Circle has a business growth program that you can sign up to. Really low bar to entry. There's a course each week to help you grow your business. Go through that or email me, DM me, come through social media. I'm quite accessible to many ways, really.
Great. And any projects in the can that
So it's an AI project I'm working on at the moment, and I'm almost there. I'm literally 99% of the way there now, and it's um, using AI tools that I've created that scrapes the internet for people that have had a bad experience with coaches. So looking at their reviews or what they've said, people that are looking for coaches. That then also goes out and does a competitor analysis for me, and then looks at their strengths and their weaknesses against my strengths and weaknesses. Will then draft an email for me to those disaffected clients who've had a bad experience, highlighting what they've said in their negative reviews, writes that for me. And so every time that comes up, I get a message pops up in my inbox, goes directly into my CRM system with their contact details, with a pre-written templated email that addresses the problems. And I don't need to do much of that other than go in and check it and tweak it and press send. That for me at the moment is a game changer project. Really.
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So it's any time it's going to be ready or usable.
Um, it's working away as we're speaking, Mike. So hopefully when we finish this, it'll be
It's
there.
doing its thing.
Well, I keep going back. It's like when you've got someone doing a project for you that you're not, you're not on the clock for. So
Yeah.
yeah. So it's working away now because I asked it to change everything to make sure that every reply and response that we did was in UK English and not US English.
Oh
So it's
yeah. So you're just honing it down, just honing it.
honing it down. We're there. I mean, it's using a load of dummy data, but I've just put Google API on the back end, so it'll go out and search Google. It searches Google, LinkedIn, social media, and Reddit for anyone that's having bad experiences with business coaching or looking for business coaching, but also looking at business
Mm.
coaches and any negative reviews that those business coaches have had on social media.
Wow, that'd be handy.
Yeah, really, and it'd be really good. I'll demo it. If I can, I'll demo it at next meeting. But
Yeah.
and what a great tool to
You can
have.
beta test it, you know.
Yeah, and we say, is AI going to put people out of business? Well, that would have cost me a good few grand to get a web developer to come up with that and create that for me, and I've spent a few hours,
Yeah.
here and there tweaking it, refining it, and it's cost me so far $10.62.
Yeah. And you could possibly resell it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I do is change the parameters and say, okay, I'm a plumber. Now go and research all the plumbers in our area, all the negative reviews about plumbers and things people don't like about plumbers, and then create me some content and an email to go out to that person.
Yeah. Well, watch this space, as they say.
Yeah, brilliant. Right,
Right.
brilliant, mate. Talk to you,
Cheers,
mate.
Mick. I know you've had a long day. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Take care.